Well, hello, I'll take you through my recommendations for the best in-memory data manipulation packages in Julia as of 2021 April. Of course, you would need to use the data frames package and also the data frames meta package. I'll show you some basic functionality of the data frames meta. Chain is a package that will allow you to write data manipulation code in a very straightforward manner. And if you've used RDepplyR before, you'll feel right at home. And here are just some boilerplate code to get the flights data set from R, which is not available in Julia. So I'll just run that. Basically, this is calling the R code, and it's using the library dplyr in R. And this is the data manipulation step I'll replicate in Julia. It's very simple. It takes the dataset grouped by tail num and do a summarize. And it's summarizing on counting the number of rows within each group, taking the mean of the distance, taking the mean of arrival delays, and storing them, and then filtering based on these three criteria, which is count greater than 20, dist less than 2000, and delay is basically not NA. So I'll use the rget macro to obtain the results from R after running R code and the original dataset. And just to show you the final results, the final result is basically a data frame with 4 columns and 1,319 rows. Now the first thing I will show you is how to view the data in Julia. This is the one I recommend, floating table view package. It's got a function called browse. So if you just run that, I like to keep it separate because if you're like me, you have multiple monitors and you want to show this data set on a separate screen. So now on to the data manipulation bit. You would use the chain macro. This chain macro basically allows you to basically pipe the data from the previous line into the next line as the first argument of the function in the next line. And this is how it works. So you got chain, the data set you want to use, the data frame you want to use, and you'll apply group by to it with tail num as the group by column, and combine is basically the same as summarize in dplyr. So you can see here I'm summarizing by the row count, take the mean of the distance, and take the mean of the array delay. And the way to read this syntax is, this is the input column. This is operation I want to apply to this input column. So in this case, mean, and this is the name of the output column. And I would use the where macro from the data frames meta package to filter based on these conditions, which is count greater than 20, dist less than 2000, and it's not missing. You'll notice that this dots been sprinkled everywhere. And this is because Julia doesn't do auto broadcasting, so that means if you want to apply the same condition greater than 20 to every value in the column, you need to use dot. Okay, that's just a Julia syntax. Or if you want to do the combine in using this more natural function like syntax, then you have to use the combine macro, which comes from the data frames meta package. So the syntax is quite intuitive now, so you just do the function you want and the column you want. On the left hand side is just a new column that you want to create. One thing to notice is that if you use this syntax, then you can't call nrow like this, so you must always have a input column. So this, which calls nrow on the whole data frame to compute the rows, it's not gonna work anymore. So you must do length of some column. So you could have chosen any column, it will just return the count this way. So let me just run that. You can see that's the result. I guess a very common question is output from the previous row you want to input into somewhere other than the first place. So for example, I just created some other data frame here which just contains this particular tail number, and I want to use that on the left hand side of a left join. So this is a little bit of a contrived example, but after running this, you should see that after running this left join, because on the left hand side there's only one tail num, you should only end up with one row. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing exactly the same operation I've done before, except now I'm doing a left join, and I want to pass the information from the previous rows into the second argument of the left join. So you can do that by using an underscore in the chain macro. So let's see if it returns indeed just the one row data frame, which it does. So that's it. Here are my recommendations for the best ranked data wrangling packages, and they are again data frames meta, and chain. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.